Hi, it's Marc, one of the team from CASE-MCQ, the Center for Access to Services in English, Mauricie, Centre du Québec. Yes, in our little region, the organization called CASE-MCQ, it's there just to be sure, Canada being a bilingual country, just to be sure that people from the English community have the same quality service as people from the French-speaking community. How do we do that? Well, through activities, through sometimes helping translating, through meet and greets, and just keeping the English community alive. Being healthy, staying healthy, it's really important. And I was thinking, what's another way of being healthy apart from the hospital system? Well, I thought exercise. Who could I speak to? A lot of people were pointing to me and talking to me about Dianne Hoeve. So I found her through Facebook and I asked her, may I do an interview with you? And she said, yeah, sure, fine. Trying to get our schedules together. And here she is. Mesdames, messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, Dianne Hoeve. Hey, it's Dianne Hoeve. Am I pronouncing this right?
Not really, but I accept it.
How should I pronounce your name?
Dianne
Dianne
Hoeve.
Hoeve.
The last name you had right, which is a surprise because most people get the last name wrong.
Okay, Dianne Hoeve.
Hoeve.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, Dianne Hoeve.
Hi.
Trying to get you in the interview with me, and I could always feel that you had all this great energy. Where does this energy come from?
Where does this energy come from? I don't know. I think I consider myself to be a happy person in general, and I've had a good life. I've been surrounded by great people. Seriously, I've had a great teaching career, and I just think that life has been pretty good, and being healthy and fit helps a lot. That
So
keeps my energy up.
I guess it's receiving and giving out good vibes in general.
Yeah, I'm really not a solitary person, and one of my former colleagues said that I really feed off of being with other people, and I feed off of being in social contact with people, and I recognize, especially now since I've been retired since January 2020, I really realize that as soon as I'm in contact with people, I get this whole different level of energy happening as opposed to when I'm by myself at home, and I really like to be with people.
Thank you. Well, I'm very happy to be on the receiving end of all that nice energy. Coming back to your name, where does that name come from?
My parents are from Holland. It's a Dutch name. My whole family is actually from Holland. And like pronouncing the last name, for example, a lot of people, whether they're Anglophones from Ontario, because I'm from Ontario, or whether they're Francophones living in Quebec, everybody has trouble pronouncing my last name. So they always ask me, how do you say that? I'm at the doctor's office, and they're like, Dianne, I say Hoeve. I repeat it for them because I know that they're going to have trouble with my
Get
name.
them out of their misery. My last name is Eshiman, so
Yes.
I feel you. I feel you right now. Being a very social person, I guess that's one of the reasons why a lot of people, when I was asking around, because I want to do interviews about the health system, about being healthy, about steps that people take to stay healthy, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, you should do an interview with Dianne Hoeve."
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
So, and they told me that you were specialized in yoga. Is that
Yeah.
so?
Yes. I never, ever, ever thought, let's say 20 years ago, that I would be a yoga instructor. It never crossed my mind. I was always doing some form of fitness for myself. And then I ended up I taught some aerobics. I did some aerobics years, did some training in aerobics instruction, and then thought that would be the direction I took. Then I was introduced to power yoga or yoga athletic with Jean-François Brunel, and he's a hockey player,
Yes,
strong, muscular hockey player.
I know him well.
You know him. And so he was teaching me yoga, or a group of us, I should say. And I came up to him afterwards. I said, "Oh my God, I really like this." Because the next day or 2 days after I'd had my first session with him, I was sore all over, aching everywhere. And I thought, there's something here, you know?
So you felt it was like a full exercise then?
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And I knew this was like 10 years ago, but I knew I was getting older. And I thought, I'm going to have to find something that's going to allow me to stay fit for the rest of my life. And then this came along, and I thought, wow, it's low impact, it's muscular, it covers stretching, it covers balance, it's concentration, it's meditation. For me, it was like the full package. So I asked him about how I should go about getting trained for it. So that sort of got the ball rolling through Jean-François.
Help me to demystify it. But when I think of yoga, and knowing Jean-François, who's a power hockey teacher also,
Exactly.
um, I thought of yoga as being closer to meditation and being zen and being calm and just slow
Right.
stretches.
Me too.
And
That's
and
what I thought.
but
Seriously.
that's not it.
Well, it is. That's one of the forms of yoga. Yeah, for sure. There are many forms of yoga, and the yoga that he taught was more of an athletic style of yoga, and that's what I liked about it. I know that for some people, yoga is more zen and more relaxed and more focused on meditation, and that's also very valuable. But for me, what I wanted was the fitness aspect of yoga incorporated into. I don't neglect the meditation, and I don't neglect the concentration and the positive vibes that you get at the beginning and at the end. But in the middle, I really want to charge it up with the fitness aspect of it as well as the other yoga aspects.
So there is a difference. Someone would go for a yoga class. That would be
Right,
good questions to ask first. What
right,
type of yoga am I getting into?
right. I mean, there's so many different names. There's hatha yoga, there's vinyasa yoga, there's uh, power yoga, there's stand-up paddleboard yoga, which is another form that I teach. There's athletic yoga. Um, there's different ways to approach it, and every way is great according to what a person wants to get out of it. I take part in the International Yoga Day in June every year, and usually it takes place in the park at Parc Pidou's, and there's all different types of yoga that happen in the park. For example, there's aerial yoga. There's which means hanging from a hammock, aerial yoga, right?
Wow.
And all different styles of yoga. So people come there during that day in the park to take little tastes of the styles of yoga that they might want to try. So I give a power yoga.
So saying that, I guess someone that wants to get into yoga, they should really ask the question to the instructor before, what kind of yoga am I getting into? Am I just more like a relaxing state, or is it going to be
Right.
like you said, power yoga?
Right. Yeah. Well, people will approach me and ask me what kind of yoga I teach. And I tell them that what I like to teach and what my favorite yoga is power yoga. That doesn't mean that I don't also teach gentle yoga, because I do gentle yoga, yoga do, power yoga, yoga athletic, which is again another sort of variation on power yoga with more push-ups and squats and sit-ups and crunches and things like that. Then there's sup yoga, which is on the stand-up paddleboard on the water. That takes a whole other level of
Wow,
balance,
balance, I
because
guess.
but we stay a bit lower when we're doing the
Hmm.
sup yoga. We don't go up as high. You At the end we do some higher poses, but for the most part we stay lower on the board so that
Low,
people feel a sense of success.
low impact and low waves. So
Yeah.
it's okay.
Well, yes, we do prefer when there's less waves, I have to say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But people will come to me and they'll say, like, I'm interested in trying your yoga class, but I'm not sure if it's for me. I say, well, look, why don't you just come and try one class? And it's power yoga. You're welcome to modify. I give modifications during my classes anyway, and you're welcome to change it according to what your body is telling you. You can go further than what I'm doing if you want. You can reduce the level if you want. You can take breaks during. I give people the chance to and the opportunity to, through my cueing, I ask them to make sure that they're respecting their own bodies and doing it according to their own level.
Like to adjust your intensity and respect your own body at the same time, because you're doing it for yourself.
Yes, and I mean, someone might come to my yoga class for the first time and then say, "Well, I was able to do that, not that. I was able to modify this. I could follow this." But then with time, and quite quickly, actually, they see a progress and they see that their body changes and their response to the cues change, and they become more accustomed to balance poses. And it's quite interesting to see how quickly people can progress.
Should someone prepare if someone has done no yoga ever
Right?
and they don't feel like they're in shape? They maybe take a couple of walks sometimes, but not
Right?
more than that. Should they start by getting ready before they go to yoga, or can we straight go, hey, let's go to yoga?
You can try. And see, no, but really, you try that. People do. They come, they try it, they see how it fits with their body, and either they say, okay, I'm going to go again and I'm going to try it and see what I can add in for myself. Or they say, well, maybe I need to try a more gentler form of yoga, but you don't know until you try.
What would you say? Because you said the first time you tried, you felt really sore the next maybe 2 days afterwards. Is it because you're more of an intense person and you really push the limits? Do you think that would be something that everyone would feel when they
I
get
think,
into it?
honestly, I really think that everyone feels something unusual after their first seriously, after their first yoga class. One of the places, oddly enough, that you feel it the most after the first yoga session is in between the ribs, which we call the
Okay.
intercostal,
Hmm.
because your body, those muscles aren't necessarily used to doing movements with a lot of twists of the spine, and not that the twists of the spine are so intense, but just the movement of the torso and,
It's not
you know,
muscles that are solicited very often.
no, and you wake up, people say, "My God, I woke up muscles that I didn't realize I had." That's a very common comment that I get from
And
people.
what would you say the feeling is afterwards? I mean,
Sometimes it's depending on what I've put into the particular class.
mhm.
Sometimes the next day or the 2 days after, the calf muscles are so tight and sore that people have trouble walking. Seriously.
Wow.
Well, it depends on what I put in, and it also depends on who I have in front of me. So
Mm.
if I have a group of people that I see are accustomed to my classes and they know what's coming and they know my way of teaching, then I do know that I can push them harder and I can add a little more. Whereas if I have new people that come in, I'm going to slow things down a bit with cues to my more experienced people to add more in if they want to. So it's like a balancing act that you have to do every week depending on who presents themselves to the class, right?
How long does a class last?
Some classes are generally it's about 60 minutes. Sometimes some places ask me to do a class for 45. Sometimes I do 90-minute classes. When the students are younger, like 5 years old, I do kids camps as well, right? And that's a whole different approach again. So those groups, it's better if I do 30-minute classes because of their attention span. You
Hmm.
probably know what I mean.
I've already done Taekwondo and Kung Fu, and I remember doing the classes, it was 1 hour, and usually on that hour, maybe 45 to 50 minutes, was always the same routine,
Right,
using all the same. And then at the end, we would probably learn a new form, a new
right,
something to do. Is
right.
it pretty much the same thing with yoga?
There are some forms of yoga where the routine is exactly the same all the time. And but what I do, the power yoga, I try to throw in a lot of variety so that people don't get bored. But we always do 2 or 4 sun salutations, which are predictable and reliable, and they know what's coming. I sometimes throw in little details here and there to spice it up, but the sun salutations are part of the regular routine. At the end, the shavasana, which is the relaxation at the end, that's generally going to be the same. But again, I throw in some little bits and pieces that people can make modifications to their final resting position if they want to. So there's a few predictable aspects to it. And then there's a lot of, okay, we're going to try this today. And okay, we're going to try that. We're going to make it interesting and give a variety. Right.
Would you say that once you start doing the yoga, it gets the ball rolling and you feel like you want to eat better, that you want to sleep better, that do you think that that kind
Yeah,
of helps?
I would say that for a lot of people, that really impacts them. For some people, they come to yoga because they are living with a lot of anxiety or they are coming off of a drug rehab program. They are in rehabilitation after an injury. People come to yoga for many different reasons. I think one of the aspects that really, and it's helped me as well, is that the ability to switch on and switch off the hamster, you know, the thinking, because at the end we really focus on how to turn off the hamster in the head. It's only like 2 to 5 minutes of that, but it's a good training for relaxing your mind.
Hmm. I so wanted to try that.
It's fun.
Yes,
It's really, I want to make it. I like it to have it fun and funny. I'm not a very serious yoga teacher. I
good,
have to say.
good, good. And Today we are the 10th of August, 2021. We're
Mhm.
going to be together because, yes, you're going to teach a class with CASE the 27th of August,
Right.
2021. So if you're watching this and it's already passed, well, too late for you, but you're going to be able to see a class or get into a class another time. I know you're a very active person. Just as a side note, what other activities do you like doing?
Oh my gosh. So many, seriously, so many things. There are not enough hours in the day for me to do all the things that I'd like to do. I have a bicycle. I have a kayak. I was out kayaking twice today, for example. And I love beach volleyball. I love indoor volleyball. I've been playing volleyball for over 25 years, I would say. I love hiking. I love hiking in the woods where it's challenging and cardio. I love hiking even in the winter. I like snowshoeing. I don't know. I love pickleball. Can't forget about pickleball. I love playing pickleball. That's really fun. That is really fun. You know, seriously, all the people who I have introduced to pickleball, once they've tried it once, everybody loves pickleball. It's worth trying.
So you're encouraging everyone to move, to stay healthy, and to
Yeah,
help you
for sure.
help get focused and try yoga at least once.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's not with CASE, if people want to try it on a Saturday morning or Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening, I should say, they're welcome to come for one time and give it a try.
If someone wants to learn or try out yoga with you,
Yeah.
where can they reach you or how can they find you?
Well, the most easy way for people to reach me usually is through Facebook. So it's Dianne Hoeve on Facebook. And there's two Dianne Hoeves, though, with the exact same spelling. One of the women that's Dianne Hoeve is not me. She's living in Holland and she's a horse trainer, and I'm in contact with her. But the Dianne Hoeve that I am on Facebook, you'll see my picture because I'm in a yoga outfit.
Yes.
So
And does the person in Holland understand English if we write to her by accident?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Most people in Holland do speak English, especially our age. My
Okay.
aunts and my uncles, I have to speak Dutch with them, but my cousins,
Especially your age. So you mean 42 and up? You can understand English,
yeah,
right?
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Dianne, thank you for taking time off of this wonderful day. I can see that you're outside again. You like the outsides.
I love being outside.
So we'll encourage everyone to stay healthy and go and move. Stay healthy
Yeah.
and have fun.
And be with your friends.
Yep.
Don't forget that.
Have a super day.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for contacting me.